Yo, mine are 6969.
Oh, wow.
Previously last week on Cockdie, you plucky would-be heroes heard of the sudden return of El Terrell and heeded the call for help making your way to rebuild the city. Making your way through the north along the Sword Coast, you encountered 3 other capable-looking travelers and headed in the same direction. You decided that your numbers might dissuade bandits and beasts, and you decided to make your way up the road together. As dusk turns to night, you see the lights of a cozy roadside inn on the edge of an old-growth forest, which the path continues and quickly disappears. Now, I know you guys traveling together have met each other, but let's go ahead and introduce your characters as you make your way over to this lovely, warm-looking inn.
Who do you want to go first?
Castellan, why don't you start us off?
Party full of socially anxious people.
Very well. Castellan Ursakar. I am a human male. My hair and beard are gray beyond their years, though you can tell that I am not a withered old man. I am in quite good shape. I travel in standard issue military armor, though I carry with me an unusual 2-bladed scimitar, and my left eye has a wound that has taken the vision from that eye.
But that looks super cool. Does he have an eye patch or?
He does not have an eye patch.
Oh, it's just a gaping wound in the face? Nice.
His eye is still intact, though you can see it's clouded over and it's foggy.
I mean, do you want
8-ball fracture?
No, it looks like someone, some kind of slashing wound.
That's an 8-ball. It's a misleading name. That's what an 8-ball fracture is. Blood pools in your eye and it makes it all misty and cloudy.
Ooh.
Okay, I didn't obviously know that. But yeah, so I've got a scar down my face that goes across the eye.
It's badass.
For anyone who would care to notice, I'm also wearing a wedding ring that I keep on fidgeting with every couple of minutes. But then,
all right, geez, Castellan is taken. I won't try anything. Fine.
you have loved ones?
Strahd campaign? Rookie mistake.
Absolutely.
Hey, you don't know the whole story, so don't be judging too harshly just yet.
It must be fresh, though.
Farius, why don't you introduce your character, please?
He's picking on.
Farius, as you can see, is a dapper gentleman wearing a fine suit, but he appears to be a drow of sorts. He has dark, grayish tan skin, but his eyes are deep golden amber. His hair stark white pulled back neatly, and sitting on top of his head is a very nice tall top hat.
Dapper.
As he smiles, you might catch the glint of sharp white teeth.
Oh, those canines just a little too long.
What's your dental plan? They're just so white.
He carries across, in his hand, a quiver, or a longbow, and then a long quiver at his side. Nothing else.
Classy. Cardesis.
Oh, jeez. Well, Cardes is a very ominous-looking individual. He has silver hair, very dark brown skin, almost like charcoal black, and he wears a white and black robe with a wood shield in the front of it, but it's only on like the hip side, and a large rope tied around his waist. He has red eyes with like, how do I put this? They're red, though, like no people. It's only red.
Solid
And-
red? Oh, God.
Solid red. And a few protrusions like can be seen from the sleeves of his robe. He also carries a longbow and quiver. He has very sharp ears, almost elf-like, but not. So, yeah.
It's
also-
Mysterious.
a weed.
Yeah, he's extremely attractive. You don't know why, but something about him just draws you closer. Like,
Goodness, magnetism is undeniable on this one.
yeah, that's about it.
Oh, bloodshot there. You need to lay off the weed, man.
Listen, I ain't gonna tell nobody. I just want to let you know.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to tell you how to
Looking
lead
out
your
for you.
life. It's gonna get glaucoma, that's all I'm saying.
Oh wait, I should probably put his token down so you guys can see.
Awesome. And last but not least, in fact, most importantly, Herrick.
Okay, so Herrick is a very large, around 8 foot tall, iguana-looking creature. He's got many skulls and jawbones just hanging off his body. Not serving any purpose, just kind of sitting there. Only thing on him that he has that is not necessarily made of bones would be his bow. But his arrows, however, are. He's got a very long blue tongue, which he uses to keep his eyes moist.
He's licking his own eyeballs?
Yeah, like lizards do. Yeah, you know?
Uh,
Lizards?
They do that?
They do, yeah. Did you not know that?
I'm sorry,
okay, it's
no, I
mostly
didn't know
okay. To be fair, it's only really geckos. Like regular lizards, they have eyelids, but
that.
geckos they just lick up there sometimes.
He just likes the taste of his own eyeball. Don't be
Perhaps.
hating.
Herrick's special.
Oh,
He's special. He's cool. He's a hunter. That's what his name means. See, it says right there, Herrick the Hunter.
oh, that's so sweet.
He hunts goblins and elves.
Goblins.
Oh no.
Does his name mean hunter in his language, or is Hunter the hunter?
Herrick. He's not known as Herrick the Hunter. His name is Herrick, which in Dragon, I'm just gonna say in Dragon means hunter.
Okay.
Are their names literally just their profession? So what if you don't have a job?
Yes. Then you're eating
Ah,
your lunch.
Launched into the sun.
Lunched into the bellies.
oh, I want to touch Herrick's belly.
It's very scaly.
Oh yeah.
A couple things I forgot to mention about Farius is that he is 6'8" tall, so he's a very tall, slender elf, and also in certain lights you can see an almost metallic sheen underneath his skin.
Elf, you say?
He is elfin.
Should I let y'all know that Herrick's fourth level thing is gonna be the chef feat?
I see.
Yes.
We're gonna have to pay close attention to what kind of meats you're using.
I know.
It's fine. Trust Herrick. He's very trustworthy.
It's gonna be fine. He's a
Trust him with my
professional.
life. I mean, I'm not any of his enemies, so I'm not a goblin.
But are you an elf?
I'm not an elf.
You'll
I'm
settle for
exactly
elf-like.
standard human size as far as height goes.
5'5".
Short.
Only comparatively. Plus, I can change my height at any given time.
Aha! So
Like
you
the useful
guys
scale.
looking each other
As long as
over.
you don't have like a thing against fiends, I'm cool with Herrick.
Herrick's goal is to eat a species, something of every species. He's a
Just
connoisseur.
a nibble,
Okay.
just to expand my horizons.
He believes that the stronger the thing you eat, the stronger you become.
Look, I'm not into being eaten in that way. If you could, not, that'd be cool.
So you
Not
guys
to get too meta, but you're gonna try and eat Strahd, right?
Yes, that is the goal. He heard power, and he's like, "I'm gonna eat it."
Damn, man.
Oh, so that's your main goal.
Just checking in on that.
You woke up one
Yeah.
day, and you're like, oh, there's a really strong vampire somewhere. Bet
Yes.
I'm gonna.
Yes.
That's a very.
It's really
That's
turning
his
the
goal,
tables.
yes. See how he likes it.
So you guys, getting to know each other better, arrive at the inn and go ahead and open the door and walk inside to find a warm and greeting atmosphere.
Various will gently dip his hat and kind of take it off, and when he flicks it, it turns into a small cloth, which he then folds and sticks into the front pouch of his suit.
Oh, I dare
Credit.
say. It's not every day we get such a, well-to-do traveler through these parts. Tell me anything I could do for you, and I'll set you up there, mate. And you guys are led into the tavern and seen to your drinks, a little bit of food. Night, room and board are paid for, and you guys are kind of just enjoying yourselves in the main common area of the tavern.
Right. So you guys see as I'm eating, the napkin will float by itself up to my mouth. And I'll kind of like move my face away like someone, kind of like like a mother trying to clean the child's face. And I'll say like, yeah, stop, come on. I know how to eat.
The napkin is pretty persistent, though, and it continues. For folding itself back into your breast pocket.
Or, yeah. Or the tavern's napkin, whichever.
Any of you would like to do anything in this tavern as you pass the night by?
Who's the most good-looking person in here, besides myself?
You look
Obviously, be
around.
Herrick.
I can't seduce Herrick. I have to travel with him.
I would agree Herrick is quite the looker. I guess it depends on what you're into.
I'm more partial to the Dapper Werewolf, but
Attractiveness is very subjective.
It is. And
If you
as
wanna-
you go ahead.
A buff grandpa, that's me. At least that's what I look like.
Silver
With my
fox.
gray hair, so
wait, how old? No, you're a human. You can't be that old.
yeah. I would say it's a little confusing. I look physically in my 30s, but based on how grayed my hair is, from my face, I look like I should be 60.
Cardaeus is 127 years old.
They're
And
about
still-
the same age based on lifespan. Maybe.
They mature at 15.
Darius is only 23.
So young.
Herrick's like 17.
Oh God, it's a minor.
That's how lizard folk age. They mature. They reach adulthood at 14.
Oh,
It's
wow.
a
Herrick's the oldest.
Brad.
Mentally, maybe.
Right, I'm gonna just. Are there any performers here?
There is a piano off in the corner, and it seems to be have its lid closed down and not being used currently.
Can I go play the piano?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm gonna play Claire de Lune.
I think I'm just gonna drink. It's been a long travel, and I don't feel like having to think.
And you enjoy yourselves as the sultry tunes come in over from the piano, manned by Cardius.
You can
Cardeus.
just call me Davis.
Manned by Deus sends the sweet music through the taverns, giving you a little bit more rest.
The music's perfect.
I'm sorry, I didn't have the piece you asked for. Well, that was requested, but
Oh, this is fine.
No, Herrick's gonna pull out his drum and he's gonna start hitting the drum and tune the music. But like barely offbeat. Just like kind of just enough to make people angry, but not enough to be complained about.
it's the 16th note off.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's a quarter of a beat off. Quarter of a beat off.
And you're trying to hang in there and
No,
continue
he's doing it
playing
intentionally.
Deus. It's throwing you
He's
off.
doing it intentionally.
I'm just get drunk enough and I'm gonna start cheering for him. It's like, yeah, man, woo,
Beat that drum, dude.
you got this.
And suddenly, right when you guys get in the groove and everyone seemed to having a good time tapping their toes, front door opens up and a big burly man in colorful clothing starts walking up. Deus sees the new guy and watching him enter, going directly over to your table. Pauses for a moment, then continues banging away at the keys.
None of my business.
Outside the tavern, fog lies over the town this evening. Damp, cobble pavement glistens as the lights in the street lanterns dance across the slick stones. The fog chills the bones and shivers the soul of anyone outside, but inside, you feel nice and warm and the music's good. The fire blazes in the hearth, and the tavern is alive with tumbling voices and country folks, and suddenly, that guy that I was talking about's there. He walks up to you guys as heavy boot falls. The jingle of his coins shattering the silence. His brightly colored clothes are draped in loose folds about him, and his hat is hanging askew, hiding his eyes in the shadows. Without hesitation, walks right up to you guys, hands you a note, and says, I've been sent to deliver this message. If you are creatures of honor, you will come to my master's aid at first light. It is not advisable to travel the Slavic woods at night. And he pulls from his letter, that letter, that's sealed, puts it down. Take the west road from here 5 hours, march down the Slavic woods. There you'll find my master in Barovia. And amidst the crowd of people kind of looking at this guy, casting sideways glance and raised eyebrows, he goes over to the bar. Fill the glasses, one and all. And
Sure.
And with that, he tosses a purse heavy in gold on the bar, takes a big swig of his own drink, downing it in one go, and leaves by the front door. A pretty maelstrom entrance of the guy.
I hate people who have to be so flashy with their entrances and exits.
Well, he does have quite the large purse now, doesn't he?
That seems. Besides, Barovia is like a vampire county, right?
I don't know. Do we even know that?
I
Or do
mean,
we know that?
Give me a history
I'm-
roll.
oh, a thing that I'm supposedly
Nope.
good at.
I'm also drunk, so I'm gonna roll again. Yeah, 3.
I'm no longer good at history.
Hey.
You guys know that there's some werewolves around. You heard rumors. These damn werewolves keep abducting the children and sacrificing them to Satan.
Werewolves. Oh no.
Ooh.
Not the
Hmm.
children.
Save
Okay,
the children.
anyways.
Oh yeah, Wookie. I didn't get to give it to you before, but my entire thing, like the lore that I picked for Sage, is monsters.
Monster Hunter background?
It's not necessarily Monster Hunter, but like I spent a good century of my life picking up like monster facts. Look
Interesting.
in my inventory that's labeled like Book of Lore, and it's just monster lore.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, that'll come up against, I don't know, I think that's only a hunter thing where if you're hunting your favorite monsters, you get bonus die.
I'll deal with it after the session, I guess.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll read through it. That sounds cool.
Each of you seems stumbled a little bit from the drink. Capable in your own right. How do you feel about teaming up?
I mean, it's a very interesting party. I'd love to travel with all of you.
I dare say, that sounds like a splendid idea.
Why not?
Excellent. Mm.
Just gonna disregard their opinion.
I'm gonna have the letter float up to me of its own, apparently of its own free will, and I'm gonna take a closer look at it.
You guys see this letter lazily drift 1, 2, 3 arcs into his hand?
Just the reason I can do this is I have telekinetic. If you're
Never
wondering.
doubted you for a moment. You open the letter, it has a wonderful wax seal on it. You break that seal?
No, in my experience, if someone goes to the trouble of sealing something, it's worth keeping
Break
Oh, no.
it.
Takes like 5 minutes to seal something. You melt,
closed.
you put the thing on. Wait, it's sealed. It's not that hard.
You could literally do it by spilling a candle on it.
Truly.
I'll stumble a little bit, downing another drink, and I'll put the letter back on the table.
You guys see the
Are
letter?
you trying to kill something off with all that drinking?
You worry about yourself.
I mean, seeing as how we're traveling together, you're now an extension of myself. I have almost every ground to worry at this point.
I must say, the fine gentleman has a point.
Everyone has memories they don't want to have.
Not me. Not me.
All good memories.
Only
All of
good.
them.
I mean, drinking isn't going to help the problem any. Maybe try to deal with the problem.
It's helping me now. Ugh.
I mean, it'll become.
I'll stumble some more, and then a invisible force will hold me up.
Well, don't say I didn't try. Stace's gonna try to read the letter.
You go ahead, take the letter up, and breaking the seal of red wax, the capital letter B is split in half, and you open the up. And it reads as following. Hail to thee of might and valor. I, a lowly servant of Barovia, Sorry, this is really intense cursive.
Wow.
Fend honor to thee? Oh, lend honor to thee. We plea for thy to desperately needed assistance. Thy. Come on, this is tough. The love of my life, Irina Kolyana, has been afflicted by an evil so deadly that even the good people of our village cannot protect her. She languishes from her wound, and I would have her saved from this menace. There's much wealth in this community, and I offer all that I might to have had to thee thy fellows, if thou shalt but answer my desperate plea. Come quickly, for her time is at hand. Still that I have shall thee be mine. All that I have shall be thine. Signed, Koyan Ildurvich, Burgomaster. Whew, that was hard.
Burger.
Are you reading out loud or are you reading to yourself?
I would read out loud, but
Dice.
it's not like attention grabbing out loud, more of like if I were speaking to myself.
Okay.
Like if you pay attention, you can hear it.
Oh, I probably heard it. I don't know if I remember.
I will remember.
Plea for help, blah, blah, blah. Give you everything
I'll
I have, shmanny, shmanny.
Buck up on the call for help and the lost love. I'll say. We're helping him.
So that's what, not the plea of the comrades to stop drinking, but rather a random stranger asking for help for his lost love. Understand?
Have you lost the one you truly love? Can destroy the person.
Deus is gonna kind of stare at him for a while. It seems like that one kind of hit close to home for a second. He's like, no, not at all. I've been through many partners. None of them had any significance to me.
Damn. And you don't understand.
I very well don't.
And Kesslin will start fidgeting with his wedding ring.
Alrighty then. Seems like we're gonna have to go help someone's dear wife. Would you guys like to rest first, or?
I believe he said at first light.
It's probably not safe to travel at night.
It's not safe for you to travel as you are in general, regardless of the time of day.
I will say when you met him, he was not drunk. He was not drinking, so.
It's not a consistent thing, then.
Well, really well. Meet you all in the morning. And seemingly supported by an invisible figure, I will carry myself to my room.
You guys.
I'm gonna find a partner for the night before I retire to my room.
Various will
Is there a lake nearby?
give a small bow. Good evening, and will slip something off of his plate into his pocket and leave.
All right. You take a little bit of food. Deus, you go ahead and find some company for the night and retire. You guys all hear a bunch of fun making coming from the room, and each of you depart into your own retirements. What's that?
Is there a body of water big enough for Herrick to soak in? Anywhere nearby?
Absolutely. You know of a river flowing through pretty close to the roadside. Are you going to step outside and go take a bath?
Herrick's gonna sleep there. He's gonna hide himself in some brush and sleep there.
Are you?
Just like a crocodile.
In the water.
Head just, yeah.
There are bathtubs, Eric.
I mean, well, he didn't mention a bathtub.
There are bathtubs.
Eric doesn't care. Eric will sleep in a bathtub then. That's what you want.
Safer than being out in the lake.
Herrick, you find one of those vertical, like, stand-up bathtubs, and you pass a night in a strange position, but it is restful as the water's, like, bubbly and soapy. It's kind of pleasant.
I'm having to Google what a stand-up bathtub is. I've never heard of that.
It's like a bin on top of a fire.
No.
Does Harry act like an actual lizard?
Yes, that's what lizard folk do. They act like legitimate lizards.
Be a sight to see.
Kinda, yeah.
Including their language.
Hand over your language.
They speak Draconic, so
Hand it over.
I like to think they speak the equivalent of hillbilly Draconic,
Nice.
like backwoods swamp.
Sounds about right.
Backwards. Huh. Alright. It's more alligator than lizard folk.
And after getting accustomed with each other's nightly rituals, a little odd, you feel a little closer to your traveling companions as you make out the next day into the early morning.
Gross, I don't want to make out with these people.
No choice.
How dare you? It isn't out with me.
Listen, same for Herrick. He is like the best looking lizard back home.
Such disrespect.
And
So
feeling
I would say I'm the standardist human of human as far as humans go.
And your
As far as
averageness is, you really feel how middle of the road good looking you are compared to the rest of your companions, which are far and away Calvin Klein models.
Nah, they're frilly boys. Let them be.
Oh wow. It's gonna
The
be
man,
like
the man adorned with bones is a frilly boy. Gotcha. I understand.
Well, if you describe yourself as the most handsome, then that's
The most handsome
probably how
lizard.
that's how Castellan will see you, as a frilly boy.
I mean, it goes without saying.
Grinning to yourselves, you guys proceed out into the early morning, the blue and mist turning almost like a sky below you that you walk through, and it's opaque.
God, could someone turn down the lights? Jesus.
Are you hungover?
Just a little bit.
And suddenly the lights
unfortunate.
do go down, and the mist and shadows
thank you.
deepen.
God seems to have answered your prayers in one way or another.
The woods are quiet this night, and the air grows chill. And suddenly, as you walk along the path, you notice that these aren't the same trees that surrounded you just a moment before.
Anyone else notice the funky stuff going on?
It's none of my business.
Like we should
It's
stay
like a
on guard.
forest or woods.
You guys making your way down the road to the south towards the old Slavic woods immediately found that the path had narrowed and become less traveled as the weeds and the grass from the sides began to creep back into the road. And still, the mist compacts and presses against you, chilling you. Somehow it's getting harder to see, and for moments you stumble off the road into the grass, and it takes a moment of panic, but you're able to re-find your companions. Part of you wants to grab out and just reach for their hands and hold them tightly so you don't get separated, but Not wanting to appear afraid, you keep yourself together and continue down the road.
Oh no, I'm holding somebody's hand.
Oh, whose hand?
I'll take Eric. He seems like a dependable
Yeah.
person.
Eric's gonna grab onto someone else too, because he's not gonna see fear as something to be ashamed of. They don't. They see like we should be cautious, not I should be afraid.
Farius pulls that same cloth out of his breast pocket, and with another flick, but slightly different than the night before, the cloth reforms into a top hat, and he places it on the top of his head and gives a slight tip to Cadeus.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's so cool.
Gonna love this character.
I'm gonna draw my double-bladed scimitar.
See one of your friends take out his swords?
Protection.
Eric's gonna seeing this. Eric's gonna uncork a blood red vial at his waist, or a blood red flask at his waist.
Is it blood?
Hey, listen. That's for Herrick to know and you to find out.
Understandable. Well, since everybody else is preparing, Cardeus is gonna take out a paper ophida. It has like some weird writing on it. You can't really make out what it is or what language it is, but just it's just there. He's just gonna hold that while holding his own hand.
Does Herrick have any melee weapons on him? Out of curiosity.
Jack.
Or would you have drawn any? I should ask.
Oh,
Or is it just the vial?
He's gonna have a dagger. He's gonna pull out a dagger as well.
Okay, I'm gonna try and move to the front of the party and be the spearhead.
All right, you guys arm up.
Buddies.
Taking out your respective weapons, you arm yourselves and continue down the road into the mist.
Farius draws no weapon, but his bow is slung over his back, and he's just holding Cadeus' hand as they...
Are you three holding hands? Is that what
Well,
I'm
yeah.
getting at?
Yes.
Okay. I won't take one of your hands, but you'll see me hold a spectral green hand from what appears to be a woman.
What? Our hands not good enough for you?
No. I don't
Oh.
know you well enough to hold your hand. That's pretty lewd, man, so...
Oh, I've done in my life.
Somehow you believe him. He seems like he gets around.
It looks like it.
Don't do that.
Heartbreaker. You can tell this one. You better watch yourselves around him. He'll just tear your heart right out.
Too late.
Oh, having an edgelord over here, huh?
No, I just have a unfortunate backstory.
My dead wife already bit my heart out.
Oh. Did she take kids?
Yep, real mean in the divorce too. Took me for everything I had.
Oh, poor thing.
No, I deserved it. I was a really abusive husband. I kicked the shit out of her for years.
Oh, God.
At least you're self-aware.
Never get attacked.
So, I'm going to need you guys, as you make your way down through the mist, separate survival checks as you need to try and hold on to each other and make your way without getting lost in the woods.
We're in a forest.
I got this, bro.
You are in a forest.
I
No
do
one's
have a passive perception of 17, if that matters.
You hear something.
We can't get lost. We can't get lost. Unless it's magic. Because I am a ranger.
Oh, praise be.
Nice. Oh, I'll follow your lead then.
Alright, Various, if you could not. That's so scary.
He would not have shown that he is of that nature.
So, don't be.
We know you're a drow as far as a shiny drow, right?
It's a shiny dress.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, the shiny hunters are coming.
As far as we know, you're just a drow who likes skincare.
Oh, I need to make.
Even holding his hand, you would be able to tell that it is almost firmer than skin.
Your hand's getting hard, bro? What's up with your hand, bro?
Cardace is just gonna rub a finger against his hand.
As you guys continue, Cardias, only one keeping you on the road between the stones. Castellan and Farius, you guys wander off and even get turned around, and only because of your human chain are you able to keep going forward.
Dang, the whole
And as you continue, you hear something getting closer.
Something coming. Everyone stay on guard.
You hear some snaps in the brush. Twig crack and a rustling behind the bush.
I'll use my telekinetic mage hand to move the shrubbery out of the way.
You guys crash through the shrubbery.
Anything back there, or is it just scampered on by?
You see the flash of a tail, some shadowy movement.
Probably wolves or something, we'll see. I feel we should continue to move forward. Not stay in one spot too long.
Audibly louder and getting closer, you hear more than 1, 2, 3, 4 separate voices.
can enjoy a nice stroll in the woods.
I must say, maybe they just want a pleasant conversation.
Perhaps.
Well, then they should show themselves, and I'll yell, show themselves out into the woods.
Continue to circle around. As soon as you catch one glimpsing at you, he disappears back into the mist, just out of range. But all the while, the number of voices increasing. 10, 20.
I am going to try and use my ethereal guide. So a spectral, the visage of a elven woman's face appears over mine, and I have blind sight up to 20 feet. Do I see any? Do I pick up on anything?
Coming in and out of range are about 6 or 7 different wolves.
Okay, I'll drop the blind sight and I'll say, "It is wolves. I feel they're waiting for a enough of a numerical advantage."
I
That
see.
would make sense.
There are pack animals.
But they are. Various does not seem at all phased. How?
I mean, there wouldn't see any reason for him to be.
Mhm.
Not like he's a wolf or anything.
Totally not.
And just
You
as you
all,
guys,
go ahead.
just as you guys think you've made it out, or they lost interest in you, the quietness eking away, tearing at your back of your mind. Give you guys one more opportunity to do something here as they move in on you.
So this is unavoidable. Understandable.
Well, we could probably scare them off. Most animals are more afraid of losing their own lives than being mindless beasts. If we make ourselves as big as possible, make as much noise as possible, we could have potentially spook them. I'm gonna try and stretch up to my full height and just scream in whichever direction the most noise from the wolves is coming from. Trying to intimidate them.
Stepping forward, you reach out into the darkness. Go ahead and give me an intimidation roll.
Can I give him advantage to that?
Hell yeah. How you giving him advantage?
I'm casting Minor Illusion. And as the illusion, I'm gonna make like a dragon roar.
That's still a 9
Even so.
with advantage.
It's a +1 on the second roll. I like that. So you step forward and this massive dragonborn form radiates with fire and energy. And directly in front of you, you see emerge from the mist a dire wolf.
Oh. He'll make a good fur coat.
But before we do initiative, Herrick's gonna summon blood from his canteen. And he's gonna make it go under his feet and raise him up 5 feet.
Blood pedestal.
He's now 5 feet. He's now floating, making him float above the ground.
You are now floating on a pillar of
wait.
blood.
That would be there.
Never mind, it says horizontally. Oh.
Horizontal. Wait.
You're
Yeah,
on
it
a
says I
diving
can
board
move.
of blood.
Can be moved horizontally 5 feet. Oh.
So you can like do the Silver Surfer thing.
Yeah.
You'll get that at level 7. I may.
Level 7.
Yeah, where you can get a fly speed of 10 feet.
I mean,
Oh.
we're allowed to move before initiative then.
I'll say you can't really tell where all these wolves are around you. You can stumble blindly into any direction you'd like.
Okay. You're gonna hear like a crunching sound, like almost like someone's bones breaking and rearranging themselves before a set of bat-like wings emerges from Cardeus's back, and he goes up about 15 feet in the air.
You guys see your friend turn into a vampire and jump up into the air. Badass.
They'll say that they're gonna kill me.
I smite them with my... No.
Please, I'm not very good with radiant damage.
Good for you. My smite is necrotic damage.
Ah, that's cool.
Varys is kind of gonna look around, knowing the wolves are around them. Well, friends, if this is unavoidable, and then he'll bite his thumb, causing it to bleed, and then run it along. He draws it, and it suddenly lights up with flame.
It's a Titan shifter.
Everything's
It's a flaming bow now, not turned into something.
Yes, let's teach these animals who they're dealing with.
Okay,
Yeah,
what-
Herrick.
Separate wolf tokens. 4 separate wolf tokens.
I'm
Just
not
three.
too worried about this wolf or this wolf.
Herrick's gonna draw his longbow and use the blood to move an inch to the left. There we go.
inch to the left. Perfect.
Now I have partial cover. Yeah.
All right, let's roll up some initiative as you guys get moved in on by the wolves.
Good 8. I'm gonna be right back here.
Cool.
I'm back.
Excellent, excellent.
Kind of looks like I'm going last.
Cordius.
Hi.
Always at the top of the initiative order. You're up.
He's gonna take the paper opera that he held in his hand for and clasp it together in his hands for saying in Infernal Sapienis Saltus. And let me get my frog.
Robert, Robert.
Can you make him bigger? He's a large creature.
Hell yeah. Gamabunto.
I was so tempted to use that as a token, I swear.
Naruto.
And the frog lets... he's not a frog, I guess. He's a toad. He lets out a very deep, belling croak. And, I guess he can eat that real quick.
Eat 'em up.
No, he can't.
No
You
advantage
try.
quite yet. 7 misses the wolf.
Yeah, he's just gonna intimidately bite at it. That's my turn.
That's going to leave the dire wolf's turn. Castellan.
That is me.
15 hit ya.
It just barely does not.
Oh, does the wolf have a... Oh, wait, this is dire wolf. He's going to have plus to hit. Yeah, he's got a 20.
Okay, then that hits. Yeah.
Please make a strength saving throw.
5.
You're knocked prone.
Oof.
So you guys see this giant wolf knock Castellan to the ground and start chomping out his guts and try to rip out his entrails. Yum, 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 yum.
Are you okay?
No.
You guys watch his small intestine followed by his large intestine pulled out of his stomach for 11 damage.
Oh.
Oof.
This is going to be the end of the dire wolf's turn. Herrick. Herrick, your dear traveling companion is being ripped apart and eaten alive.
Herrick's gonna shoot at the wolf with his bow.
Pew pew.
It's an
18's
18
gonna
hit.
hit.
Awesome.
I'm confused. Is the werewolf archer? Is the werewolf the archer? Oh no, it's the lizard guy.
They're both archers.
We got.
Oh, 2 archers. This is
They're
fantastic.
all archers.
We're
It's
all
actually-
archers.
I'm not
Yeah.
archer.
And Herrick's gonna use his swarm, which is no action, to move back 5 feet. So he still gets that nice what is it called? Partial cover. Is it partial or half?
I think it's half cover.
Is it?
I know it is in Star Wars role-playing game.
You remove 5 foot directionally of the class. Also gives you half cover until the start of your next turn.
Excellent. You take a step back and hide behind something back there. Which wolf were you shooting at? Just so I know.
The dire wolf. And
The
it's
dire
not
wolf.
like... Yes.
Thank you.
And it's the blood, like, moving him. It gives him half cover, or whatever it is.
You just
The
hid
blood
behind
is-
a wave of blood wall?
Yes.
Sick. All right, we got 2 wolves going.
Like it's like Dara's sand, but blood.
Is sand was kind of blood.
It was soaked with blood. It was mostly blood and only a little bit of sand.
Yeah. Sand was just courtesy sand.
Just
He did
being
sand
polite.
for the aesthetic.
It's aesthetic sand.
Because he's from the Sand Village, he had to make it aesthetic.
Well, since this wolf saw you stepping off to the back, he's going to run over there. He's going to be able to get to you. Yeah. Yes. A 1 and a nat 20. Ain't that about a bitch?
Listen, what does half cover give? Wait. A +2. Okay, there we go. Wonderful. That's gonna hit, yeah. That's a hit.
It's going to be 11 damage. 2 1s on that.
2 1s, 11 damage.
And I'm going to re-roll one of these attacks because they have pack tactics. Does a 20 hit you?
Yeah, yes.
All right, so additional 10 damage from the other wolf that has advantage because of pack tactics.
Oh no.
Various, you're up.
You just love going from 31 to 10.
This real quick. Okay.
What's the D4 for?
That is for the damage I take activating my Crimson Rain. Various will look at the two wolves attacking Eric behind him and just spin and step back over here, provoking the opportunity attack.
10.
That does not hit. And then, so now he doesn't have disadvantage to shoot, so he will shoot this wolf.
Okie dokie.
Oh. It is 8 to hit.
8 misses. Just, nope, that misses.
I see it.
Uses a Various. Send one over the top of that wolf. Castellan.
Alrighty. So I'm just knocked prone, right?
Correct.
Alright, well, I'm going to stand up,
Boo-boo-boo-boo-doo.
and I'm going to attack this wolf that's right in front of me with my double-bladed scimitar.
Sick.
10 hit?
10 misses the dire wolf. And you
Okay.
guys are throwing so low.
Using my bonus action, I can attack with the scimitar again as its special effect.
Bonus chop. 10 is also going to miss.
9 is the
Oh.
damage for- yeah.
9 is going
Is
to
it
miss
to
as
hit?
well.
Oh, fuck. That's my turn.
I like it when you guys roll low. You know, you guys should just decide to become werewolves and enlist yourselves in Strahd's army.
I don't want to be a werewolf
Rolled a 3 and a 2.
Well, why not? It's pretty cool.
because I don't think I'll maintain my looks as werewolf.
What would Herrick look like as a werewolf? Would he be like kind of scaly?
Yeah.
Would he turn into more like a wolf-looking lizard or like a lizard-looking wolf?
That is the question.
And I'm thinking about letting this happen.
Don't do it.
We need answers.
We can figure them out later, not now. In a controlled environment.
Truly terrifying. You guys just see the lizard sprout fur.
Oh no. That's
Oh,
against
that
nature.
like between the scales, just kind of like fur kind of starts.
In
Oh.
the seams.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. The frog has its own initiative now. It's probably last. It rolled a 4, but it operates separately of me. It obeys commands. So
Okay. So the werewolf is going to move next to you and give you a sniff. A good sniffing, Farius, and you see him raise a werewolf eyebrow. An extra bushy werewolf eyebrow.
Various will raise an eyebrow back.
can you be infected with lycanthropy if you're already a lycan?
Advanced lycanthropy. Lycanthropy.
Oh yeah, the alpha lycanthrope.
Varius does a 19 hit you.
It does.
Please take 9 damage. As the wolf gets its advantage attack in on you for a choppity chomp. That's going to bring us back to the top of the initiative order. Frogman. Wait, no, just Frog. Toadman. Wait, nope, Toad.
Yeah, I had to switch their thing. Can you make them back of regular size now? I love my book. Alright. Still can't do it.
God damn.
He's not feeling good right now. You know, he's been in the open for like so long. Finally got summoned. Yeah,
He's rusty.
yeah.
Wait
He'll be
a
fine.
minute. So we've got a white-haired guy with a scar over his eye. We've got someone who summons toads. We've got a guy who uses blood to make shields and stuff.
This is
And then we've got someone who loses their control and like becomes like a beast, kind of. Are we a Naruto ripoff?
We're a Naruto ripoff. Yeah. Fuck
I
yeah.
mean, so it seems.
Unintentionally.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna make Naruto better.
Love it. Naruto goes to Castlevania.
Yeah. I don't want to be Hokage. I want to be a vampire lord.
Want to be a vampire lord, Mom? All right.
Mom and my shonen anime? What?
What?
All right, Mr. Frogman, with that unfortunate gumming of the wolf, Cadeus.
Alrighty. I'm actually gonna have to do stuff. Ooh. Gonna hit that werewolf with a firebolt. Or I was gonna try, but I'm just as rusty as my toad.
Who are you aiming at?
I was aiming at the one in front of my toad. I mean, do I have the high ground?
Because your toad is engaged with him, I believe you would have advantage.
Ah, does a 14 hit?
A 14 does hit.
Ah. 10 fire. Oh, that was all the damage. Oh.
Nice roll.
So yeah, that's it.
The dire wolf is going to take some more chomps out of Castellan. 6. Come in. Yeah. Looks like I do get pack tactics off this. Oh yeah, dire wolf is just a bigger wolf. That makes sense.
Yeah. Prehistoric wolves.
Fuck.
Castellan.
Mm-hmm.
The dire wolf, tearing at your throat, grabs a fistful, a mouthful of clothing, tears that away, and then dives into your jugular. Please take 19 damage.
Okay.
Are you good?
I'm at 1.
Oh, okay. How much do you weigh?
I don't know,
Don't you know that's rude?
170 pounds, something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
That's going to end the dire wolf's turn. Herrick.
Okay. Let me look at something. Okay. Herrick is going to cast Cure Wounds on himself. Which is... And will he heal for 12 healing? 12 healing.
Nice roll, dude.
And he will use his bonus action to bite this white wolf next to him. Because he can do that.
Jump, jump.
Yeah, he's gonna bite him. Here we go. Does a 9 hit?
9 misses.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. We can't.
You guys are
I
going to
like
have to roll above a 10 to hit something if you want to. I'm not saying you have
Damn.
to hit something.
We're trying our best. We weren't prepared.
No, it's misty. I mean, I can see. I understand. It's hard to see.
This was not how I expected this to go.
That's it.
All right, these two wolves are going to go ahead and make their chomp attacks. That one misses, but one does succeed.
One does hit.
These attacks are coming in on Lizard Man.
No.
It's going to be 12 more damage to
Man,
Herrick.
so glad I healed.
That
12 healing.
that's like so stupid.
Back at 10 again.
Various.
Well, lads, I was hoping to not have to do this so early. So,
Uh-huh.
set down his... kind of drops his bow, and the flame that was on it kind of transfers to his hands as his body starts to shift. And suddenly comes Werewolf Arius, still dapper as ever.
Oh, that's a very dapper werewolf right there.
Goodness.
I never thought I'd be attracted to a werewolf.
Sam.
He'll turn to the werewolf that attacked him previously and just kind of give like a look like, really? And then just attack. Wait,
As you make your attack, you guys have a moment of Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man.
Wait, do you have pack tactics?
unfortunately not.
Dang, the one thing about werewolves.
$22 hit?
22 hits.
10 slashing damage plus... one fire damage.
I've got it.
Pussy.
And it's my turn. Various' claws are just burning with flame and stares at the werewolf in front of him.
So cool. Castellan.
Alright, well. Too much point in trying to heal, so I'm just going to strike out at the wolf in front of me here. Hopefully hitting. Nope.
10 misses,
Bonus
unfortunately.
action. It's a 13 hit.
13 just misses.
Alrighty, well, that's my turn.
It's a bounce action.
Spelled it wrong. It's a bonus action to use a second attack with the double-bladed scimitar.
I don't know why I always thought scimitar had an H in it, so it was like Shimtar.
It does.
But that's my turn.
This wolf is going to move out of range from you two. Prompting,
Yeah, that's an opportunity attack.
Wait,
prompting
which?
an opportunity attack. This one right here from Castellan and I believe Varius.
Don't think a 9 hits.
I guess I'm. God damn it! Why can't I roll anything?
This is the
It's an
greatest.
11 to hit.
This is the greatest session I've ever DM'd. I'm invincible. I will never die.
How dare you?
That's gonna move. The toad is going to have an opportunity to attack as well.
Cool. You can do it, Celtus. Alright, and ignore the second. Ah, it sucks that he got 2 crits on those divinities.
That's cool. 17 hits.
Yeah.
You guys
He's gonna-
watch.
Swallow him.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. You guys watch this toad's tongue wrap around a wolf, goes up into the air, and then rockets down out of the sky into the toads and disappears. One bite.
Plus the 11, 14 damage. in total.
The wolves only have 11 health.
Well, if he's dead, he can just spit him back out after the bite. Or if the initial bite killed him, he doesn't have to swallow him.
You guys watch this toad vomit up in a spittle pile of drool, a dead wolf.
It's worth it.
The werewolf is going to make a swipe attack.
At whom?
Back on the werewolf.
So, like, who is it attacking?
I believe the werewolf is Varius. That one's not going to hit. It's 4 to hit. Does a 19 hit you, Varius?
Yes.
Please take another 7 damage.
I think you mean 3 because I'm resistant.
Nice. All right, and that's going to complete this round of combat, and we'll come back up to Frog Mr. Hoppity round in a second. But before we do, we're going to take a 5-minute break.
Ah, how dare you.
Oh, now I can contemplate how I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna go give some sacrifices to the dice gods. I'll be right back.
Yeah, we really need it.
I didn't think Castellan would be the first down.
God damn, I missed 4 things of attacks.
This is some really low rolling, I see it.
Again with the Persona music.
I really thought the +7 would hit.
I'm more upset that my total
plus 6
isn't what it should be.
at once.
Alright.
Looky, I'm going to change. Hold up.
5 attacks.
Looky, can you do me a favor?
Hmm.
Can you click on my toad, right click, I believe, and you should see the options flip open. And flip horizontal. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Now I don't have to change this thing every time. So, who's gonna help spell him?
I'll try.
I don't have healing spells.
I think the only one who's healing is Castellan or the ranger.
Castellan, heal yourself.
Am I the ranger, the healer of the party? Is that what I just heard?
I have the paladin spell list, so
Wait, do
I do
wizards have
have cure wounds.
spells? I can try to get a healing spell next level, but
Wizards do not have access to any healing spells.
we don't have cure wounds.
Nope.
Ah, well, I'm not a healer.
Same.
I mean, if I could have hit this wolf at least once, I probably would have killed it.
Maybe.
No, I just smited him into oblivion.
Hmm.
Unfortunate. Oh. Yeah, looks like wizards don't have healing spells. Wild.
Yeah,
That'd be crazy if they did.
it would.
I always thought they had like at least like cure wounds or something. But they don't.
Listen, I spent all day today consuming vampire media to train to kill vampires. You see, I didn't train to go against werewolves. I didn't know werewolves.
Look, I like shakily put this character together like an hour or so ago. Like I forgot about the whole session and everything.
I didn't expect to be fighting werewolves as a werewolf.
I'm very sorry you have to go through this. My condolences. I mean, did you want to be a werewolf?
Yeah.
Ah, that's even more fortunate.
Blood Hunter, Order of the Lycan, so.
So how do you become Lycan? Did somebody have to bite you or something?
Yeah, it was part of the initiation.
Ah.
Order.
That's how they jump you in. Now they bite you.
Can you make
Oh,
other
sweet.
people Lycans?
If you take 3 levels of Blood Hunter.
You're
technically.
3 levels.
And
Can I
that's
take
class
your
in the
3
blood.
Can I take your 3 levels?
Can you bite my character real quick? Wait, are there penalties to being a werewolf?
Yeah.
No. Just let me bite you really fast.
Clothes drip when you change. That's the only downside I know of.
Ah, it's fine.
Darius's
Can't
Do they
wear any
move and shift to kind of fit over his new werewolf body.
can't really wear silver jewelry.
Gonna have to buy one of those sticky hair brushes that rolls.
Shedding everywhere.
Oh, that is. Then how do you clean that out of your clothes? Jeez.
You have to get a hair roller. Yeah, it's not easy.
And how do you explain that when someone like sees hair all over your like nice clothing? You have a dog.
Mm-hmm.
I have a barn. I have a barn full of dogs.
I have a cat. I have a normal house cat.
Let's
What-
just say I'm an animal person.
I mean, just get an actual animal. They won't question it.
I own a husky.
Right, coming back into combat, this werewolf is going to see one of its dear members of its pack, one of its awesome buddies, go down. And after doing a little chippity chomp on you, it's going to reach down, pick up his friend, and start moving away. It's going to provoke
that-
an up. Oh,
Yep, that you already confirmed what I was asking.
yes, it will. Yep, and that's a 20, very nice, from the Toad as well as Farius. 17 does hit as well.
Can I hit him with the swallow? Or is he a large creature?
I don't think he is.
Swallow.
Medium creature, he is getting swallowed.
Both taking 6 damage and 1 fire damage.
7 damage
it's
there.
Like, I was just gonna start like gulping him down, bro.
So far, the Toad is the MVP.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got it, Scipius. So that's a collective 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You can do 24 damage on him, plus the swallow.
All right, you guys watch this werewolf disappear in a vat of acid inside this Toad.
Yes.
And there's like these little like protrusions on occasion, like 1, 2, 3 seconds. You'll see like a fist try and punch out of the stomach and just gets reabsorbed quickly.
The Co's just gonna let out a low croak.
All right, it is going to be Cadeus.
Oh wait, did my toad already take the turn?
I've got your frog directly in front of you on the initiative order.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that werewolf's probably gonna have to take the 10 acid in there.
Is that on your turn or his turn?
It's up the frog's turn. So,
Got it.
I posted the thing. You can read over it.
Okay, thank you. I will. I've got the damage.
He'll just chill over there, digesting.
Cool.
And I will attempt another firebolt. Way more confident now that I've seen my toad do
Hell
what it
yeah.
do. And hitting this one.
On the dire wolf, a 21 will hit.
God dang it. So useless. It hits, but it does nothing. I'm gonna feel bad about myself for a bit.
You watch the fireball splash off the dire wolf, and almost offended, you watch the dire wolf spin around only because he's flaring his nostrils and the burnt hair is quite disturbing him.
Oh, what are you gonna do? Bite me?
He narrows his eyes at you and stares a mean look in your direction.
Oh, I'm so scared. Quaking in my boots.
The eyes somehow get narrower.
That'll be Cardenas' turn.
This dire wolf is staring daggers at you.
What's he gonna do? I don't think you can jump 15 feet.
Takes a chomp at you and bites your ankles and just gets some of your ankle clothes. I'm not... what's a sleeve for the shoe?
So,
Sucks.
You get a bandage.
Yeah, he gets a bandage on the outside of your socks. That will be his turn. Herrick.
Cardenas takes offense.
okay. Eric is going to bite the white wolf.
Chomp.
We're just eating people now.
Push this nom button. Well,
Nom plus 3, unfortunately.
well. Yeah, I don't think I get anything else. Nope. That's the end of his turn.
Seeing you, struggle to do a lot of damage, and they're going to look over and see their werewolf pack leader retreating. And they will do the same, breaking off from you. I will allow an opportunity attack on one of those wolves.
Oh, wait. Their werewolf leader is swallowed, though.
Yep, that would actually encourage them to retreat much sooner.
Ha, cowards.
Can opportunity attacks be made with a bow? When they're fleeing, or is it just melee?
I think it's melee only.
Oh, I'm gonna bite at him again.
Oh,
Ah, there we go. Much better.
That'll hit.
Gonna be on him right there, that white one.
you
Yeah.
seem eating that one.
He did like 11 damage.
Mm.
He's the stronger of the two, apparently.
Totally.
You wouldn't know, huh?
Yes, five damage.
As he turns to go, you take out your dagger and finish him off. Finishing blow. How do you want to kill the wolf?
He ate him.
He bit it. He's gonna down it. He's gonna scarf it down without chewing. He's gonna death roll its head.
Not skipping a beat. You take him by the neck, start spinning, and chomp him down like a serpent, unhinging your jaw in a circular motion. Various.
Both disturbed and intrigued, and slightly turned.
It's like the Tasmanian devil. There's a small tornado of brown fur and scales.
Phil, mental note of that.
Kind of step around, tell him to get to the dire wolf. Look down at him. You alright?
No.
Why was that?
Seductively. Are you alright? Rolling to seduce.
For a moment, forgets about his wife.
I would never forget about my wife.
And then he will take 2 claw attacks at the dire wolf.
That's why the looksy's coming for you, man.
Wow, nice.
Oh, you
Man,
just
what were those?
You see, I just made my offering to the dice gods.
I did it,
Apparently,
man.
they accept bananas. They accept bananas.
Love bananas.
potassium for the dice gods.
No,
Apparently when Marius is protecting people, he gets crits.
Wild.
we got 23 and then a +5 for 28 total. That's just gonna do it.
Wow.
Hate to see wolf on wolf violence, but you know, sometimes.
Sometimes.
It was warranted.
Alright, Varys, so you find a weak spot on that dire wolf and you manage to claw him to death with your glittering, fiery claws.
So stylish.
Anything else on your turn, sir?
Nope.
Castellan.
Alrighty, well, I'm not strong enough to be chasing down wolves, so I am going to cure wounds myself. 10. And then I am going to use my bonus action to try and... This wolf was dead, right? Next to me? Or is it
Correct.
still alive?
That
Yeah,
is
the
a
only-
toast.
I'm gonna try and push that wolf.
Okay.
So he needs to make a strength saving throw.
This one's dead.
That one's dead? Okay.
The only one alive is this one up here.
Yeah.
So 16 makes it. It was a 15 save. The spectral green hand will come out and try and shove it, but doesn't work. Of course.
Are you trying to shove him away?
Yeah.
He's going to
Trying
allow
to use
that to
the-
happen. He's trying to escape, and anything that's going to aid him in pushing him away from this battle, he's going to let it happen.
Okay, so then he gets pushed 5 feet away. And that's my turn.
That's going to bring it back to the wolf's turn. You guys are going to see this thing disappear like a ghost into the mist.
Is it dashing?
It's dashing, it's double dashing, and you guys can't hear the soft pitter-patter of its feet disappearing into the mist, swallowed up by the cool moisture.
Can anyone track that?
What do you roll for trap? Survival?
I
You're
think so.
joking, right?
No.
I'll just like hold my stomach with all my wounds. Some of us can't fly, you know.
That sounds like a you problem.
Walk it off.
It's because you're human, isn't it?
What? Why I can't fly? Yes.
Not why
Humans
you-
aren't known for their wings.
I mean, You can ask Farius over there to make you anything other than a human.
I would highly prefer not.
Understandable. Are we out of initiative?
You guys are no longer initiative. However, you feel that something's close by. Maybe they retreated. Maybe they're just reinforcing their numbers before renewing their assault.
Oh.
We need to get out of here quickly.
Cardaeus is gonna go over, pet the toad, and it's gonna start speaking in Infernal towards Cardaeus. Is the wolf inside of the toad dead at this point?
You look over and see the last struggles of the werewolf inside the toad. Yeah, they're done. He's toast.
What are you saying in Infernal?
I mean, do any of you speak Infernal?
I may or may not be able to understand Infernal.
That's very ominous. Alright, so Cardaeus is saying to the toad, "Oh, you did such a good job. I'm so proud of you. You get some more snacks for you." And the toad is just being like, "Oh, yes, 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 yes." So, like, think of how people talk to their dogs.
Call your toad a fuck ass?
You can praise your toad later. Let us get out of these woods.
Ah, but he did such a good job.
Continuing forward through the mist, you see just patches lift up momentarily before the road is obscured once again in another renewed assault of this mist. Jogging at first and then continuing to pick up your pace, finding yourselves momentarily at all-out sprints at times. You continue to run away from the wolves.
Cardaeus is gonna smack the toad's forehead with the piece of paper. It's blank at this point, but when he puts it on the toad's head, it's gonna dissipate. Sort of. Have you ever seen like slime and how it like interacts with like any surface? It's gonna melt the paper here again, and the toad's gone.
You guys watch the toad, the summon, disappear as you continue to, at top speed, make your way towards something in the mist that's breaking out. You see like a ramshackle wooden fence that you pass by, dilapidated, abandoned houses, and then in the distance, there's some kind of village.
Quickly.
If an hour passes, Farius will return to normal form. Or as they have started approaching the village.
And you're able to do so just as you arrive in the village and pass the city outskirts.
Can I put my wings away? I don't think people take too kindly to that.
You guys take the
Eric approach stealthily, hiding.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll up some stealth rolls as you guys take the proper precautions to hide your vampire/werewolf true identities.
I'm not.
I'm just a regular guy.
I'm just a normal flying person.
Yeah,
Eric's just gonna hide because he doesn't like people.
As Cardaeus tucks his wings away, you hear that same crunching sound as they like pour back into his back.
I think Eric's a bit better at this than you two.
Well, obviously you're a hunter.
All stealthy.
I wasn't intending on it, really, but...
Farius isn't being stealthy. He's just gonna walk.
Eric's invisible.
A charming little village you find yourselves in.
They have a inn or tavern, somewhere we can spend the night.
You're looking around, the place seems kind of abandoned, oddly so. I wonder where all these buildings came from and why aren't there people around. It's more than just the dreary, overcast, cold atmosphere that's depressing in its own right. It's something more. Some kind of absence in this city, an oppressive figure, a presence.
We were told to come here. Why are there no people?
That
It
is-
seemed like an urgent call.
Mhm.
Well, a good portion of the party seems injured. Not really sure what we're meant to do at this point. There's no one here, as we can all see. But do you want to maybe set up camp for a bit?
Yeah, let's just hunker down in one of these buildings for the night. I'm sure in the morning we can find proper answers.
Do any of these buildings have an elevated porch?
Everything's pretty run down. You do find one house that has a nicer porch that wraps around the establishment. You notice that the windows are boarded and the front door has been barred.
Oh, that's convenient for us.
From the
Tall
inside, it looks
shapes loom out of the dense fog that surround everything. The muddy ground underfoot gives way to slick, wet cobblestones, and the tall shapes become recognizable as village dwellings. The windows of each house stare out from pools of blackness. No sound cuts the silence except for a mournful sobbing that echoes through the streets from the distance.
Even I'm not used to such dank places.
Yeah, I don't like it any more than you do, but I feel we don't have much of a choice.
So it seems.
Eric's gonna slink around the shadows of the city looking for a safe place to set up camp.
And as you look around the city, you notice a few blurry figures in the mist that move oddly and slowly, and you figure best to avoid those ones. As you move
Should that
around,
not be a priority at this point?
as you continue your exploration of this city, you hear a clippity clop on the cobblestones and like a dinging of a bell.
That's a glut.
Look towards what's making the noise.
Eric's gonna look at it and just kind of do whatever he needs to do to stay hidden from it.
You guys take a moment to hide yourselves. It's not hard in the mist, and you see coming down the street is a cart of some kind. Pretty roughly put together. You see that the cart has a canopy that protects a little bit of shade. Not sure why you'd need it, but looks run down, and you watch as this old, fragile woman goes from the cart up to a house, delivers a couple of these wonderfully looking, delicious pies, and then continues to the cart to the next house and repeats the process.
That's ominous, to say the least.
But you guys don't get pie deliveries?
It's not a matter of the pie delivery itself. It's the fact that this is such a rundown shanty, and she's coming out of nowhere, God knows what hour, on a rundown little cart with shade for no reason when there's no sun out here, delivering pies to houses where no one lives.
Eric's gonna steal one of the pies and try to figure out what it is.
Give me a stealth check.
He's already.
I'm at like 25.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, you
I'm
stealth
pretty
over to the cart.
stealthy.
You grab one of these delicious warm pies and you bring it back into the shadows.
Can I try to sniff it and figure out what it is?
Smells delicious, heavenly. It's like a mincemeat pie. You can smell the savory deliciousness inside, waiting for
meat.
you just below the crust. Meaty goodness.
Herrick's obviously gonna eat it and try to figure it out by taste.
How is the best way to do that kind of thing? I need something.
Oh god, a con.
Well, he is a lizard, so he probably eats people.
I mean, you think he'd have like poison resistance or something.
They actually don't, for some odd reason.
Oh, that's wild.
Interesting.
Please make a Constitution saving throw.
Knew it.
Wonderful.
Called it.
Save after you eat something weird.
See if he has anything that gives him proficiency in Constitution. Just to be sure.
Being a giant lizard doesn't already give you Constitution.
Oh, no. See, having a 17 in it, though, does help.
Oh, the DC is really low.
I need you to roll a d4 for me.
Oh, I love D4. A 3. Is that good?
You collapse to the ground unconscious in a daze-like trance.
Can he tell what it is?
You're asleep.
Like,
Can we tell where you are?
He was very stealthy.
an 8-foot
Herrick.
lizard just fell onto the ground.
Thud.
I think you could hear that.
Just a thump.
Herrick, you see in your mind the most wonderful delights that you've ever experienced. The most epic place that you've ever wanted to go to and reside in all eternity, away from all your problems. A successful, most powerful hunter that's ever been recorded in the books of history. You stand here above all others on your accomplishments. Domination, power. You feel all these things in your hands, where they belong.
So, a lot of narcissism.
You guys see the old woman continue on her rounds from a house, and she eventually comes to one where, well, it seems like a heated debate is being exchanged.
Drama.
So
Cardacea.
there's actual people that are coming out to collect these pies. That she's not just delivering them to empty homes.
Correct. You see her going to these different houses, and individuals, however rare they might be, are meeting her outside, and they are giving her, it seems like, some kind of exchange of money and goods, in which case she delivers these delicious pies.
Can I go listen to the exchange?
Absolutely.
Can I go pick up our lizard friend?
It'll be fine.
Yeah, you pick up the lizard friend and bring him on over.
What's your strength? What you carrying?
My strength is 15.
The big
It's a big
lizard.
boy. It's like 290 pounds.
You're able to
Without
find
gear.
an abandoned wheelbarrow and dump your friend into it and wheel him over.
Oh, wait.
Now, you know, we have an agreement, and there's no way I'll let anyone out of it.
You've received 4 dream pastries now, free of charge, and that's more than I've ever let anyone grace my charity before. I believe we had an arrangement. Any more of these pastries? You're going to have to let me have your son.
Oh, no.
But we promise we'll pay you. We have money coming in. It's only a matter of time. I know we're in the hole right now, but no. If you have any more pastries to get from me, you'll know that I can also accept your daughter. But for now, I'll be taking your son with me as we previously agreed. And she rips out this probably 7-year-old boy from his mother's grasp, and she takes it down the steps and shoves him into a small cage on her cart and starts to wheel away after depositing 2 more dream cakes back at the house.
Cardace is gonna tremble with excitement at the drama. It's been so long. But
As she starts to wheel away, Farius will step out and kind of jog to catch up. Excuse me, madame.
Oh my, look at you, you big handsome feller, you are. What can Granny do for you?
stranger danger.
Return the child.
Is this Mother May I?
Is this Rumpelstiltskin?
No,
Alright.
no, like from the Titans comics, like the pies, the granny. Is this Mother May I?
But she was like, I don't think they did this. I don't think she was taking people's children.
I mean,
It,
maybe, but like the pies and the hypnotism and the
yeah, it does make sense to think this is who that is. Who that is?
yeah.
That's a repressed memory. Ooh.
Well, look, you're all asking me quite a few questions right now. I'm not really sure who Mary May mother I have. I'm sorry, I can't help you there. I wish you all a good day.
And she continues to push her cart forward with the child on it, pretending like she didn't hear you, that first part.
Okay. You want to get the child back? Cardace is directly talking to Castellan.
Me?
Yes.
It's probably the right thing to do, though.
Well, the right thing to do is subjective to each person. I personally thought that this was the way of order and things, and it was none of our business. But seeing as how you are a beloved party member, I will do everything within my powers to make things go to your best interests. So,
I mean, you should probably ask Farius. He's the one who's talking to the woman.
Varys, do you want the child?
I do believe that is why we were sent here.
We were sent here for someone's wife.
Yes,
This-
but said the town was in danger.
Because of the wife.
Yes, the note from what I've been told did not have anything to do with this old lady.
All right. Cardace is gonna walk up to the old woman, wherever she be.
You wouldn't hurt a harmless old lady, would you? Why you be so cruel to an older woman?
Oh no, I'm not here to hurt you, madam. I just wanted to tell you just how charming you are in person. I've never seen a more beautiful woman in my life, and I have been around for quite a while.
Stop! Oh, please! Oh no!
And she continues. She's like, gives you the hand motion of like a circle. Please continue.
How do I continue this? There are no mere words on this earth that could describe your sheer beauty.
Oh.
It's very appalling in some sense, almost celestial in a sense.
Well, I wouldn't say that. That's not exactly correct or anywhere near the truth, but I appreciate it.
Association, and she will try and start to push her cart forward a little bit faster. And for an old lady, she's really moving quite fast.
Cardace is gonna grab her arm and like spin her towards him.
Goodness gracious.
Madame, as humble as you are, I do wish that you would let me continue to praise your beauty. He's gonna try to keep this up for a full minute.
Okay, while this lovely lady is being distracted, what are the rest of you doing?
Farius is gonna try to start opening the cages.
All right, give me a stealth roll with advantage.
I'm gonna try and wake our lizard friend up.
I think he's done for a bit.
Like
Wow.
pour some water on his face, smack him.
Just continues to drool, no effect. And you see that his eyes are moving back and forth in his head, and when you open up his eyelid, his eyes fully rolled back in his skull.
Excuse me, sir. I must know touching the merchandise.
What?
My goodness.
Have I been at this for a good minute yet?
Yeah, you get to it in a minute, and she is protesting. She is trying to, like, get, pay attention to you. Like, her body language, her entire posture is turned towards you.
All right.
At the same time,
now-
she's trying to, like, fiddle and get in between Various and, like, trying to keep the kid locked in the cage.
It's the time now. They're like, look, darling, sweetie,
I'm sure you don't actually need that child. If you could be so lenient as to return him to his parents, I would be ever grateful. And I have advantage on this persuasion roll, 23.
Wow.
And because I've spent a minute with her, I get to use my silver tongue thing I get for being an incubus. And it's against her wisdom, so she needs to make a wisdom save. And she fails, and she's magically charmed. She's gonna have to give the child back.
Well, this is literally a matter of life and death.
That's
Somehow you're making a really good argument, you know? Even though it goes against my very being as to who I am, I will return this child. I have no idea why. Okay, you know what? I'll go back and see this pure youth to its parents.
I'll stay with it. 'Cause, like, as long as I'm within 60 feet, she's charmed.
So you walk back to the house and you find both the parents passed out in a comatose state, and dropping the child off, he runs back up to his room, slamming the door in there. The parents continue to be unresponsive.
That's not my business. I have to keep it.
Had they eaten the pie?
You see 2 empty pie containers along with a little girl. The little girl has such lines of worry on her face, and her eyes pierce you. The moment you look at her, you realize she knows she's next.
Please. Deus is gonna put his hands on the old woman's shoulders, like, if you could explain what's going on here. I'm quite confused.
It's really simple, my good man. I make these wonderful pastries, these delicious pastries, and everyone's just wild about them. I charge a very reasonable price, 1 gold piece apiece, and when individuals still decide they would like more of my delicious pastries, they use whatever they have in their life to pay their debt, and unfortunately these people here, they hadn't paid me for months now, and I came to an arrangement with them where I would take their son as a laborer for some of the more specialized work around my home and return the youthful lad.
Well, it's very hard to think that pastries are putting people to sleep. Is there any specific thing that you use?
Oh, no, I guarantee you they're just exceptionally delicious. And as soon as someone has one, well, that's the itis. They need to have a nap, and I frankly just consider it a accommodation, a sign of how delicious my baking is. It's just too delicious to resist.
Right. That is... It is very hard to believe. He's going to hold the woman by the hand to make sure that the charm effect stays as it is, and then go pick up a pie and cast Identify.
You would recognize this as a dream pastry.
So they're drug addicts.
To some extent, these pastries are magically enchanted to allow the consumer of said pastry to disappear into a fantasy world illusionary dream for a number of hours. The consumer, the edible, disappears to a wondrous vision of a lovely environment. Very pleasurable.
So, in reality, this woman is doing no real wrong. It's just people are desperate for things that aren't reality. It's really on the...
Do you tell us what the pies do?
Oh, yes, I guess I would have to do that. I'm going to give you the short rundown. They're drug pies.
Okay. It's quite a harsh payment, though. I
Well, she
don't
did...
feel like getting involved in every addict's life.
She said she was going to return the child. I believe her, since she can't really lie to me in this state. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just her very profession. These people are doing this to themselves, in a sense.
I mean, we have one right here, and I'll point to a big lizard friend that did it to himself, it seems.
Let's hope he does not become. I would hate
It-
to see him in the same state as these people.
It was a meat pie. What was he gonna do? Not eat it?
He's a carnivore.
I mean, we don't know that. As far as we know, you had an apple pie.
But all of the pies she has are meat pies.
I didn't.
It was.
I thought,
she
I thought
made-
they
she
were a
made-
variety.
Ah, yes, variety drug pie.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna
She
make
has like a
pies,
few apple pies for her vegan customers.
Totally.
you gotta have a mass appeal. Come on.
Politely asked to leave.
Would you like the meat pie or would you like the apple drug pie?
Of
Ah, that
course.
does bring me back to another question. When you said that this was a matter of life and death, what did you mean?
Oh,
And he's like,
So, what specifically are the rules around lying?
she can't.
White lies, lies of omission?
She can't.
I
All right.
imagine it's similar to the zone of truth, where she can't necessarily lie, but she
At
can
least not
speak
to
the
me.
truth.
You know, like how they do in the TV shows, how they get injected with truth serum?
Yes.
It's that. They're forced to answer any question.
Gotcha.
I'm just so
well, I'm going
Any-
to have to readjust one of my finer points here. I was not going to return that child.
And as she says that, you realize that these dream pastries might have been made by a night hag. And as you look back over to her, you feel her hand slip through yours and become ethereal as she disappears into the background.
Oh no, where's she going? I'm gonna ask her to come back.
Yes.
She pops back in.
Where are you going?
I'm leaving. Ooh.
Can you not leave? Can you stay with me?
I would if I didn't think you would kill me.
As
I
she
won't kill you. Respect the business.
And you do realize these dream pastries are made by night hags.
Are they made with children?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, that makes sense. Yeah, that's what I figured.
I mean, you would
I heard
be able to tell the meat, right? You've had
I heard
children before.
child was put in a cage and I immediately knew what the pie was made of.
Yup.
I knew what it was made of before. I knew it was made of when you said there was a meat pie.
I
It
mean,
was just like a meat pie. Oh, it's this people.
Granny.
It's a people pie.
Granny must have
wouldn't
been-
Herrick do the same thing though?
Probably without hesitation.
Alright, so here's the situation. Should we just let this be?
Well, perhaps we can come back to it.
I
to
mean,
where we're not bleeding from a wolf attack.
I have her in a charmed state. What much more you want? We have a good bit of information. We know what the situation is, but we also know that these people are doing it to themselves and they're buying the pies. So even if we were to, free them of that, they're still addicted.
What
There's
do you want us to do? Kill the hag? I'm sure she'll just blast us away.
I'm asking you. I really would rather not get involved with this. I only did so because I thought saving the child would have been the best course of action, seeing as how everyone was so intent on it. But upon further inspection of the situation, I'm seeing that that's not the case.
The night hag bamps back in, materializing out of nowhere.
Yes, it is the case. It can't be changed. These people are beyond hope and recovery. They'll always be under my influence. And what's the
How long have
worst
you
of
been
it?
selling them pies?
Oh, hundreds of years, centuries. You have to understand these people have no hope, and they'll never be able to escape. Their only release from this unending horror. A moment with my dream pastries. Is that so evil?
Alright,
Maybe
look,
we put a pin in this.
darling, I'm gonna need you to take it from a 10 to a 5. I don't like the evil vibe.
I'm sorry, I just get so excited. I almost had some more bones to work with and create more of these delicious pies. I've been working on the recipe for some time now.
Oh, what do you use in the recipe?
Well, and you would know this,
From identifying the pie.
from eating the pie. Castellan? Nope.
Herrick
Harrick.
knows.
Eric.
You would know
Herrick's
that
asleep.
in your dreams, as you savored the mouth texture of the dream pie, you would realize that no children were.
No children were harmed in this
No
pie.
child
This pie.
meat was used in this pie.
So, wait, Herrick's a hunter. He's had a lot of different. What do you know?
He's unconscious. We can't ask him anything.
Okay, well, I know he's on. But when he wakes up, would he know specifically what he ate?
Herrick's eaten. Okay, I'm gonna make a list of what he's eaten that makes sense to me. He's eaten a few elves. He's eaten elves, goblins, kobolds. He doesn't like kobolds. Humans, a dwarf or two dwarves, and I might say maybe he had dragonborn. Oh no, he didn't have dragonborn. No, he's had wolf. We know that one for sure. He's had most woodland critters.
And you would know from your diverse experience with the different meats that you did not just eat human child. Again.
Well, perhaps we put a pin in this, and we can come back to it when we're not so mortally wounded.
Yes, I
Understand.
suppose that's agreeable.
Cardace is gonna write down a couple of words. I know there's no phones, but he's gonna put down some of his common, relaxing places. Be like, if you ever get the time, darling, I would like to chat with you. You seem like a very interesting person. Gonna give her the paper.
Oh, thank yes, do you? I'm sure we'll stay in touch.
Indeed. And she's still charmed after 1 minute of being away from me, but it'll wear off.
It'll be fine.
That I created with her will be there always.
True dat. Forever, all time, and always. You guys retire? Trying to find some safe-looking environment in this village. All the abandoned buildings, it seems like every other one has no one inside, and the ones that do have people inside turn their doors on you. They slam them in your face.
Can I take 5 of those dream pies?
I'll say yes.
Thank you.
You want her children pies? Come on.
They're not children pies.
We don't know that.
Okay, even if they were, I'm not.
Does Farius know anything about night hags?
About what?
Night
Alright.
hags.
Is the night hag a monster?
Yes.
Then would I know anything?
They're fiends. To be specific.
Oh, what kind of fiend? Ah! That's wild.
I'd say you would know that night hags prey on people while they sleep.
Oh,
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, that this is all coming together now. I'm slowly finding more reasons as to why I can't leave it alone, and that makes me upset because I have to do things.
Yeah. They kind of put people to sleep with their pies and then kill them.
Well, I
They're
mean,
one of the worst types of hags.
they didn't have to eat the pie. Oh wait, is Herrick gonna be okay?
Eric, you will continue to be in a dreamlight ecstasy trance for another 6 hours.
Oh jeez.
I'm sure he'll
That's
be
a long
fine in the
rest,
morning.
right? Kinda.
Well, someone's getting rest.
I think we all need a rest.
Oh, I'm fine.
As I said, not all of us can fly.
I mean, you can join me now.
Finding an abandoned building that looks safe enough. You guys retire for a long rest. Eric, I am going to allow you a long rest because we're low level and I don't want to be an asshole. And that's where we're going to end it for this week.
Awesome.
Hey, God damn, we got got pretty close to just straight up dying.
Well, I mean, it started off bad, but we're alive.
Mhm.
May have overtuned that a little bit. I gotta get back in the swing on low level.
Oh no, it's fine.
I miss doing like 7
Talk to
things during a
Like,
turn.
hey, you
And we
know,
did like shitty
wolf to
rolls
wolf.
for a good 5 minutes.
Till I
Yeah,
made that sacrifice to the dice gods.
the sacrifice to the dice god turned the
Always
trick.
remember to make sacrifices. Yeah, 2 crits in a row. That was.
Yeah.
Oof.
You're clearly upset with me.
Why do you make me suffer, dice gods?
My frog didn't get hurt. I didn't get hurt. I'm fine. I was fine with this.
Very much not fine.
Stop being squishy.
I got 31 hit points.
Yo, so does Herrick.
I have 39.
I have 30. So we're all in a good range.
But also not. Because my hybrid transformation kind of acts like rage.
That's what a Rune Knight's giant mode does. Apparently, it makes it a rage or something.
Yeah.
Makes it big. Makes it do more damage.